Hey guys, welcome to The Tipping Point. I'm your host, JoAnn Johnson, and I am ready to have a super good time. I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to just put everything behind me, and I have the perfect person with me tonight to do that. We have with us tonight the amazing Lee Hardin. You will know Lee. He has done dry bar stuff. He's actually been on the Huckabee show. He's warmed up for Huckabee, and he has done competitions. He travels religiously all over the place, and he's coming to us tonight from Nashville, which is right around the corner from me. So we're neighbors. I'm excited. And he actually, I'm in South Carolina. He actually lived at one point 30 minutes away from me. Who knew? So I wish I would have known that then. I would have asked him to go to coffee. But any hoozle, any wheezy, we are going to take a look real quick at one of his clips from Dry Bar. You guys, he is hilarious.
You guys are fun, man. I love this job so much. I've not always had this job. I used to work as a substitute teacher. Oh, thanks. All I had to do was graduate high school, so thank you. That was, bar's low. It's a tough job. For me, it was tough because of roll call. There's so many names that are spelled weird, you're gonna say them wrong. Like, my first day, I'm in a classroom, I'm doing roll, I'm going down a list, I'm looking at names. I say the name Desiree, because that's what it looks like. I go, Desiree, and this girl corrects me. She's like, no, it's pronounced desire. Yeah, I'm not calling you that. For so many reasons, I'm not calling you that. So now I start overthinking, overpronouncing names. I'm looking down the list. I'm like, is there a Pate? Where's Pate? Where's Pate? And this kid's like, dude, it's Pete. Idiot. There's a name going around that I never had, but I hope to God it's a real name. LaDasha. The way LaDasha is spelled is L-A-A. I didn't know we could do that. We can use symbols to spell names. I think that's kind of awesome. If I have kids, I'm gonna totally do the same thing. Like, yeah, these are my sons, hashtag, and poop emoji. Dude, it's fun, man. A lot of traveling with this job too, man. Gosh, and just when you travel, it's just easy to eat fast food, but I would eat fast food if I wasn't traveling, because fast food is the best food. Taco Bell is the best thing ever. Where's my Taco Bell? Yes! Love it. Thank you. Like, I love it. I just don't know what to do with it when people try to ruin it for you. Like, the healthy people, like when you eat it in front of them, and they're always like, that's gross, man. Don't you know how they make that? And I'm like, no. But I wish. I would love to make this at home. Like, save more money. And I've got these friends. They know they make their own food. They're weird, man. They know I love the quesadilla at Taco Bell, and they're always like, Lee, we can make you a quesadilla that's better than Taco Bell. And I'm like, yeah, but can I come to your house at 2 a.m. and get it?
No, we can't go at his house at 2 a.m. and get it. But I, too, wish that I knew how to make Taco Bell food. And I'm a chef, and I still can't do it. And I don't care what you say. Taco Bell is amazing. But I cut it off. I cut the bit off just before he said the funniest line. I'm going to let him finish that if he wants to. But it's so funny. And I don't know. If you guys don't love Taco Bell, then I have issue. But I am going to bring Lee Hardin in right now. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. So they ended that Taco Bell bit. That is such a good bit.
Oh, thank you. Like the very end. Like I almost don't do that joke anymore. Just because I always forget to do it. Like the grades or the grade C meat or
the grade C meat exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because like that was the biggest thing. Or they always trying to find nutrition facts to keep it from eating Taco Bell, and I'm like, I'm already at Taco Bell. I don't care about nutrition facts. Like,
and the fact that it's grade C meat, it's a passing grade. You said so.
Exactly, yeah, grade C meat. The meat is not grade A; it's grade C. And I'm like, C is a passing grade. there's plenty of doctors with C degrees and.
Thank you. And the fact that you used to be a teacher, right?
Well, substitute.
Okay. I'm going to say it still counts. It still counts because one of my questions for you, and I want to double back and, you can introduce yourself and all of that, but you're coming to us from Nashville. But I noticed that you were a substitute teacher. You taught kids. Did that prepare you slightly, do you think, for comedy?
I mean, definitely as far as, having strangers stare at you and, sometimes not want you to be there. That's all. Yeah. Anytime you're in front of people that you don't know and you have to do something, you're not super comfortable with. Absolutely. Yeah.
I've got 4 kids, Lee. I've got 4 kids and they're teenagers and they would prefer that I just went away right now. I mean, and they're like, you know what, Mom? And I'm cracking jokes through the kitchen, doing the things I do. They're like, you're not funny. You're just not. I mean, they have a different sense of humor than me too, but they are, I mean, of course they're hilarious. Kids are hilarious. Right. And the stuff they do, I mean, gives me material on my shows and stuff that I can talk about. Although I'll probably give them material too, to talk to their friends about. Right.
Absolutely. And, parents they're not going to be funny. Sinbad is probably not funny to his kids. Like Jim Gaffigan, Seinfeld, when they turn 12 and 13, they're going to be the enemy of that's kids turn into Skynet. It's like Skynet from Terminator. Like suddenly 12, 13, they become self-aware and start attacking for no reason. They don't.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
My youngest, they're ready to pounce on every little word you say. I know that because that's what I did. So
I know. And I think back now what I did to my mom, and it is so minute. And I remember she would stand there with bare feet because she was always barefooted. And there was this little vein that would kind of pop in her foot a little bit. I had to tell her about it. I had to make issue with this. And then she would laugh about it because she said that with my grandma would be turning toward the stove cooking. Mind you, after a long day, you're trying to prepare this meal for your family. But because her butt wiggled a little bit, my mom always made fun of that. We just do that to our parents.
Yeah, you get so used to something for like 12 and 13 years, you finally start like picking out stuff and just how comfortable you get with somebody. I'm sure it's like, I'm not married, but I assume that's how it is with a marriage. You start suddenly things that weren't an issue, now you gotta magnify it. So.
I mean, the toilet paper thing, that's a huge issue. Are you, facing forward or facing backward? I mean, we see it all over the internet too. I mean, people come to blows. I'm like, it's toilet paper.
Right.
I mean, be glad at this point you have any. Okay.
Yeah. It's great that you have it or get the day. So,
Yeah. Well, how are things going in Nashville as far as comedy?
It's all right. I mean, gigs are, towards the end of 2020, gigs were coming in. Not like every week, but they're coming. It's kind of like the ocean. It's a little in, and then some might go away and then get postponed. But I'm grateful for the ones I'm getting, and hopefully more come in. So it's just not an every week or every other weekend consistent thing at the moment. So hoping it picks up.
And it will. It totally will. Are you able to do a lot of stuff virtually for people? Because I know that you do church events and corporate events. Are you able to live stream any of that in?
I've done some of it. Right before Christmas, there was like a few in the middle right before Christmas, and I was hesitant because I've seen some Zoom comedy, and it's I don't know. It's not the same.
Right.
I'll be the nicest way to say it. It's not the same. It's I heard a quote about audience and stand-up comedians that you're the guitar, the audience is the strings. You have that immediate reaction is key. You want that if you have a delayed reaction, that's not it makes it hard, and that's what Zoom comedy can be. But I experienced it. I got to meet people from across the country, do jokes, entertain them a little bit with some guitar stuff, and ended up being pretty fun. I'm happy to admit I was wrong, but I've done some Zoom to answer your question, and I still prefer a live crowd. But if they're gonna pay you a little bit of money to do half an hour from your couch and them to not know if you have pants or not pants on, that's all right. But
that's what I always say.
I have pants on. I always have pants on.
I say it, Lee, because I'm like, you guys don't know. We may or may not have pants on. We might have PJ bottoms. We don't know. So, I mean, I get that though, what you're saying about the Zoom thing. And it's a different way to do things, but thank God we have it at least right now. But you're having to pull from a deeper place, I think, aren't you? And it kind of separates people maybe, I mean, how committed are you to this? Are you willing to do what you need to do and learn a different way? Because right now you guys have to be really creative and thinking outside your box.
Yeah, I think so. You have to adapt. And I think I speak for most stand-up comedians or people starting out in comedy. This isn't the most uncomfortable gig you will do as a Zoom gig. I mean, there's going to be really unusual situations where they want a comedian where they shouldn't have a comedian, and you do those gigs, and or you have really bad shows, and when you have a really bad gig, you died on stage and you get up from that. So if you died on stage, that's just going to make you immune. It's going to make you stronger for other unusual situations. There's been corporate gigs where they threw me in the middle of some stairs and people are just walking by and I'm like, I don't think they're going to listen. And they're like, no, they'll listen. And then I'm 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm 5 minutes in. And then the person who booked me comes up to me and goes, hey, they're not listening. We're going to move you. So I'm already trying to do my jokes. She interrupts me, takes me to a cafeteria where more people are not listening. And then, I ended up having a conversation with the 3 people at this one table the whole time I was there on the mic. I didn't lose the mic. I kept the mic. All that to say is shows like that where like you're going, there's no way this is a straightforward comedy gig. This is unusual. This is bad. When you have enough of those, you're kind of bulletproof to other other uncomfortable situations. So.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, it's stretching you and preparing you for other things. I mean, it's unfortunate that happened, but I know you had to learn and get tougher in that.
Oh, yeah. You just I don't know. I've heard people say you can either get bitter or get better. And I like that quote. And situations where it just seems like too ridiculous to believe, you just have to have a good attitude about it. You have to laugh about it, because if you carry yourself well in those bad situations, and everybody knows it's bad, but if you carry yourself well, that's going to leave a good reputation for yourself. That's going to be like, wow, that guy took a hit and he smiled during the process. We're going to remember that for next time.
All of that is true. Plus the fact that that you didn't just say, forget this, sign off or whatever, or walk away. You're having integrity, and that always pays off.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, and that, and it's not, I'm not batting 1,000 on that. There's been plenty of times where I just, had a horrible attitude. So, not perfect by any means in that world. I've had to learn. I had to learn that mindset. So
I feel like we're all having to learn stuff right now, because this is crazy what we're going through. And I mean, enough already. Check, please. Right. I mean, this is ridiculous. And we're constantly up against hurdles and things. People are losing their companies, their jobs, and everybody's depressed. And I always say, not everybody, but you guys know what I mean. I say it for effect, but, I tell comedians, because I'm so fortunate to have so many comedians on this show. You guys are great to partner with us. How badly we need you right now. And I don't know if all of you realize that, to the extent that our country and our world needs you, because comedy, if we don't have that with everything that's going on, what would it look like? I mean, people can stop laughing. If you lost your job, you lost your savings, you lost your house, you're scared of COVID, everything is so serious. If there's no laughter, and there's no way to deflect, then what? And so I have the deepest respect for you comedians. I really, really do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're 100% right. Even before all this, I mean, there's shows you've done in the past, and, you'll have audience members come up and tell you that they've had a horrible day or a horrible week. And, they'll let you know how much they needed it. So
yeah,
you definitely see the impact you can have, even before 2020. So what you do matters, what you say matters. You don't realize how much impact you might have on somebody.
totally.
Yeah, you got to be careful with as a stand-up comedian, because you can get selfish where you're like, oh, they laughed, I'm funny, as opposed to going, oh, they're happier than they were before they came in. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And again, it's easy to get caught up in taking it in for yourself. I mean, that's
But I don't think, Lee, I don't think that's selfish though, really, because you guys are going through all the same things that we are, right? Mm-hmm. So like when we put out this show, I may have had a terrible day. Nobody's going to know that unless I'm like, you guys, today was terrible, I mean, but we stand up, we entertain, right? But we're going through the same things. And sometimes knowing that you're impacting people in even some small way does refill us. And the fact that we need that refilling too, I don't believe is selfish. We're people first.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I think that makes it a very relatable type of situation that, we're going through the same stuff too. And yeah, just you can't overlook those small things. They're going through it too. They're going through it. You've got I guess you can call it a skill set and, a bit of a work ethic and a different eyeball. You can see things that someone may not see and have fun with it. So, I think that's why people get into stand-up comedy is, you like making people laugh, but you see the world a little bit different. You're like, I don't know. I was always like that. Just growing up, I was not a good class clown, but I would try. I would always try to point out things that someone else didn't see and make a joke about it. But you see the world differently, I guess. So
I love that. That's so accurate. When did you say, I'm funny?
Oh man, I don't know. This is gonna sound cliche. I try not to say that, I guess. When did I say I'm funny? I remember when I was able to make people laugh. I'd say kindergarten.
Or
maybe first grade. I don't know. There was a kid that was getting picked on for we just got our pictures back from picture day, and this one kid was getting made fun of pretty hard for how he looked in his pictures, and then these kids just walk away. The dude's crying, and I just wanted to cheer him up. I remember that. And I remember he had these like toys, and so I picked him up. I started doing some sort of silly voice and doing puppet shows and stuff like that. And he started laughing. He started smiling. His mood changed a little bit. So that's an early memory that I go back to and go, oh, okay. So you can do this. You can make people laugh. It's possible.
That was your moment. That is so cool. I love the way that you answered that. I mean, it shows your heart. But the fact that probably as a little kid, you're like, yeah, I have the ability to change somebody's mood, change how they feel. And to learn that at such a young age, that's had to carry through, I would imagine, for you through your whole life and how you handle situations.
I try. And again, not perfect by any means. When you start out in this comedy stuff, like I know when I started out, I thought it was really good. When I wasn't, even though, you could make, your friends laugh, but they know you. And so that's a little different than going to a crowd and thinking you can be just as funny and then thinking you're just as funny. And then you go back to your recording and go, all right, I need to work on that. But I had to get my butt kicked several times to learn. Okay, you gotta take this a little more seriously with finding a way to be funny to strangers as opposed to being funny to people one-on-one. So that's definitely a work in progress.
Wait, what? Are you meaning physically got your butt kicked because you were cracking jokes?
Oh no, not yet.
Oh, I'm like, oh my god.
No. The whole life lesson. You gotta take your hits. You gotta fail. You gotta have some people tell you some harsh truths about what you're doing as a comedian and making you realize things you may have not realized before. So that kind of. No, there was one time it came close. There's a room full of state troopers that they wanted comedians for, and I got into an argument 5 minutes in with one of them. I love cops, not that. It's he just kept interrupting, and then I was so early on in getting on stage, I didn't know how to handle it. So I basically was like, I'm gonna leave if you don't shut up. I basically told him that, and yeah, and there's a whole room full of cops, just full of cops and their wives, and I was like, all right, I might go missing tonight. Who knows? So,
you might, and that's not recommended. We love police officers,
yeah.
so that's hilarious. But I mean, you're like, dude, by the way, it's my turn.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He was just an audience member that night, so they weren't in uniform. I just I could have been anybody, and I was like, I will leave if you don't shut up.
You're like, just kidding.
And the rest of your 20-minute set, no one's like, okay, is he gonna snap? I think he's crazy. So yeah, everyone was very uncomfortable after, because you gotta carry yourself well when you're dealing with an unruly audience member.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that, because on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have performed on a farm for prisoners as well.
Yeah.
Talk about that. That's pretty cool.
It is now. Once 5 years later, it's over. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. No, just when you start out in comedy, you just say yes to every gig you can get. I mean, if you want stage time, you got to get up. You got to go up. So you say yes. And I didn't know what I was getting into. They offered me some money. I'm like, paid gig? Yeah, absolutely. Get there, and I show up. It's a 10-hour drive from my house. The gig's going to be outside on the farm. And then I found out later it's prisoners. And the guy that booked me, he was like, he was excited I was there. And he was like, look, I know this isn't your ideal crowd, but you never know who's going to be here. And I'm like, that's what I'm afraid of. And
so you get on stage and your knees are not together.
They didn't know they were getting a comedian either. They just say, here's Lee Hardin. So I'm up there telling jokes. They don't know I'm telling jokes. They're looking at me like, this is the worst motivational speaker we've ever had. And 30 minutes go by, not one reaction. And afterwards, the guy, he pays me, which was nice. And he was like, look, he's like, I'm glad you were here. I know that was rough, but you were a lot better than what we had last year. And I'm like, what did you have last year?
Right.
And he was like, nothing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he thought he was being nice, telling me I'm better than nothing. So
thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Check, please.
Great.
Yeah.
Again, it's a great story now. At the time, you're just going, maybe comedy isn't for me. I don't think Seinfeld started out doing farm gigs. I don't think that's.
So let's talk about that for a second, and we'll get a little bit serious. And I ask people this sometimes. You've had it tough. I mean, you're pushing through, and you're definitely winning in this because you're still here and you're still doing your thing and you're doing it well, very well. Yes. But there are moments probably when you were like, you just said, I don't know if maybe this is for me. We all have those moments. I have those moments. I just had one last week. Okay, let's be real. Musicians have them. We all do. How did you push through it? And what would you say to people that are watching that are either current comedians, professional comedians, or people that are saying, dude, I'm funny, I want to go do what he does? Yeah,
that's a great question. And like you just said a second, like you had that moment last week, you're still going to have those moments. I don't know. I try to write down life lessons I learned from the road. Sorry, my computer's dirty. I try to write down, even if it's just one sentence, but if I've learned something, I just put it in my notes app. But one thing I try to go back to, and it's just a simple Southern saying, I guess. I know I can do it because I've done it. When you have doubts, look at your past, look at your track record, your resume, going, okay, I've made people laugh. I know I can do this. All right, I've gotten paid to go travel and tell jokes. Okay. And I've had good shows. That is within me. I know it's there because I can look at the past and go, oh, I've done this. So it's, just look at your past. You know, it's within you because you've already done it. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there, but that's just, that's the biggest takeaway is just looking at how you can do it. As far as people, wanting to start doing comedy, and this goes with anything. If you're obsessed enough with something, you'll find a way to make it work. You'll improve. I'm not going to be an NFL receiver, but I bet if I learned how to run routes, if I had a coach, I bet I would get better at it. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a pro at it, but I can learn the techniques. I'm probably not going to be that good at it, but I'll be better than I was, than before I started. Yeah.
Do you feel like right now, and again, this kind of piggybacks onto the original question, but everybody who is down right now, maybe not touring the way that you were, we're not in the studio. I'm at home. I'm, again, may or may not have bottoms on. Who cares? We don't know. We don't have a crew behind us, but we're still trying to put out the work, right? I'm about to lose my train of thought now too. That's funny. It hones us though. We hone our craft, and we're getting new material. We're getting stronger. And I think when those thoughts come about giving up and walking away, I think when you feel like that, you feel that sense, you have to really remember why you started in the first place and what drives you, right? And that everybody who is in this industry, whether it's music or comedy or actors, everybody has felt that way. And they are still doing it, right? And ask yourself too, Lee, like, what would I do if I walked away? What would that look like? And you didn't come this far to only come this far.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we all had those thoughts last year. I mean, I almost, I was doing it. I was training to be a volunteer firefighter, thinking that might be a career. Again, that was just volunteer, but they always recommend being a volunteer first before going into the career firefighting world. I looked into that. I was looking into lots of stuff. I was just thinking long term. I'm like, I'm not going to quit comedy, but there's no money coming in from it right now. So I got to think of something. And I'm still thinking of stuff just to add to a skill set to possibly up my income if gigs don't come in. I mean, that's not
a plan B is never a bad idea.
No. Yeah, I looked into, like other people looked into who are you without this? Like, is this your identity? I mean, it's a part of your life, but it shouldn't be the only part of your life. Like, who are you?
That's huge. That's hugely important, because so many people, like maybe they're in the corporate world and they retire, and maybe they were a CEO of a company and they've identified themselves the whole time with that. And when they retire, they're like, I don't know who I am now. We can't be what we do. What we do is a part of who we are. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to make that your full identity. If you want to be the best at something, you're going to be obsessed with it, and that's going to take up a lot of your energy, physical, emotional. Like, you're thinking how I can get better at this when you're off the clock. I mean, as comedians, you're always trying to email, get bookings. You're always trying to, a lot of my friends I've traveled with can attest to this, and I've probably annoyed every single one of them where I'm like on the road going, all right, how can I make this joke better? Or how can I, I don't know. Did you like that joke, or what do you think? You're just always obsessed with the process. So yeah, it's hard not. Last year taught me to slow down, and I had no choice. But like, who are you outside of trying to tell jokes on stage. So
I love it. And we are going to come out of it, and you're going to continue to be amazing and entertain everybody. And we love you, and just keep doing what you're doing. And I appreciate you being here. This is fantastic. So hopefully people have gotten to know a little bit more about you, off the stage. So
let's hope. Yeah, this was fun. I'm glad you had me. I enjoyed my time here.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
He's amazing. He's super fun. He's super funny. And I love his attitude. I mean, you guys think about it. Everything that we're saying, I know you guys already know that, but we have to keep on keeping on, to put a cliche out, right? But it's the truth. It's frustrating out there. We just have to continue to do what we're passionate about. Do what makes your soul sing. You'll never work another day in your life, they say, if you're out there doing what you love. So thank you to Lee Hardin, and thank you guys for watching. I'm going to play our little bitty outro, and thank you to all of our sponsors. And if you would be so kind to please share this show with all of your friends, help us to reach more people. We'll see you next time.